What if your birth wasn't a coincidence, but a cosmic appointment, an exact moment chosen not by chance, but by meaning? Carl Jung believed that meaningful coincidences, or synchronicities, were signs of a deeper, hidden order, a language through which the universe speaks to us. Your birth month is not just a number on a calendar. It's a symbolic imprint, marking the energetic signature you carry into the world. The ancients saw time not as linear, but as cyclical, filled with patterns, archetypes, and rhythms that shape who we become. And Jung, who studied both psychology and astrology, understood that the moment we are born reflects more than biology. It reveals essence. The seasons, the stars, and even the collective unconscious converge in that moment to give you traits, trials, and tools. To explore your birth month is to begin a journey inward, not toward prediction, but toward self-understanding. Carl Jung once wrote, "We are born at a given moment, in a given place, and like vintage years of wine, we have the qualities of the year and of the season in which we are born." This idea wasn't poetic metaphor, it was a declaration of profound psychological truth. Jung believed that each of us arrives at a precise moment when the forces of the universe, the archetypes within the collective unconscious, are in perfect alignment with our soul's journey. These forces are not random. They form a cosmic blueprint, subtly guiding our values, our challenges, and even our gifts. According to Jung, we are not isolated individuals. We are woven into a deeper structure of symbolic meaning. Your birth month, then, is part of this sacred architecture. It acts as a mirror, reflecting the inner themes your life will unfold. To know it is to begin deciphering your own myth, your personal legend. Jung believed that human beings are not separate from nature. We are nature, expressed through human consciousness. Just as trees bend with the wind and rivers carve their way through stone, so too are our personalities shaped by the natural cycles we're born into. The seasons, he believed, are not just changes in the weather, but expressions of archetypal energies, each carrying a psychological mood, a symbolic language embedded in the collective unconscious. If you were born in spring, your soul may carry themes of rebirth and hope. If in winter, perhaps introspection and solitude. The environment at the time of your birth leaves an imprint on your emotional landscape. This isn't mysticism, it's psychology woven with myth. Jung often reminded us to observe the symbols that arise in dreams and in nature alike. Your birth month is one such symbol, an invisible compass, guiding you back to your truest self. To be born in January is to enter the world at the threshold, where one year ends and another begins. Carl Jung believed that such symbolic moments hold great power, as they represent archetypal transitions, death and rebirth, the old self and the new. January children are often marked by this energy of initiation. They feel called to lead, to forge paths where none existed, and to carry responsibilities others shy away from. It's no coincidence their essence is tied to beginnings. But Jung would also caution that the archetype of the warrior or the leader, if unbalanced, can become burdened with isolation and relentless striving. For those born in January, the lesson lies not only in courage, but in trust, the ability to pause, to delegate, to rest without guilt. In embracing the rhythm of winter's stillness, they reclaim power not just to begin, but to endure with grace. Those born in February often feel like they've come into this world carrying a different kind of wisdom, one that speaks not through logic, but through empathy, dreams, and subtle intuition. Carl Jung described the intuitive type as someone who perceives the world not by what is seen, but by what is felt, through images, emotions, and symbols. February souls are deeply attuned to the emotional undercurrents of others. They can sense pain before it's spoken and offer comfort without needing words. This rare gift is part of what Jung might call their archetypal calling, that of the healer, the bridge between worlds. But such sensitivity also comes with a cost. They may neglect their own needs in a relentless effort to care for others. Jung would remind them, individuation, the path to wholeness, begins with honoring the self. Only by nurturing their inner world can they continue to uplift those around them. March marks the shift from winter to spring, a time of awakening, where what was hidden beneath the surface begins to stir. Carl Jung believed that those with a deep connection to the unconscious, the dreamers, the visionaries, are often born under such transitional energy. If you were born in March, your life may be shaped by this pull between the real and the imagined, the visible and the mysterious. You feel at home in inner worlds where symbols speak louder than facts. Jung would say you are guided by the archetype of the mystic or the seer, one who walks between realms. But such openness to the unseen can be overwhelming. Like a sponge, you absorb what others miss, including their pain. Your path, then, is to learn psychic boundaries, to protect your light without dimming it. Through creativity, solitude, and spiritual exploration, you turn your sensitivity into your greatest strength. To be born in April is to be born into motion, into the spark of spring where life bursts forward with color, urgency, and heat. Carl Jung wrote extensively about the power of archetypes, and those born in April often carry the archetype of the warrior or the hero, bold, direct, and driven by a burning desire to act. These individuals are natural initiators, often leaping into challenges with courage others admire, but rarely match. Their energy is electric, forward-moving, and contagious, but Jung warned of what he called inflation of the ego, when the heroic self over-identifies with action and forgets the necessity of reflection. For April-born souls, life teaches the balance between power and patience. The greatest victories are not always those won quickly, but those guided by foresight. When they learn to temper impulse with insight, they become not just doers, but visionary builders of lasting change. Those born in May arrive during a time when nature finds its rhythm, when blossoms settle into form and growth becomes steady. Carl Jung believed in the sacred union of opposites, and May-born individuals embody this principle. They seek to merge the spiritual with the material, the dream with the tangible. Grounded and dependable, they are builders, not just of structures, but of lives rooted in purpose and peace. Their archetypal energy often mirrors the caretaker or the alchemist, someone who turns raw experience into stability and meaning. But as Jung noted, the shadow of order is resistance to change. Souls may fear disruption, clinging to what's familiar, even when growth calls for release. Life will challenge them to let go of control, to trust that true security lies not in what is held tightly, but in what flows freely. When they embrace change, they unlock a deeper, unshakable strength. Born at the cusp of spring and summer, those who enter the world in June often carry a spirit that is both light and restless, a deep hunger to experience, to learn, and to expand. Carl Jung described the process of individuation as a journey, one that requires curiosity, courage, and the willingness to explore both the outer world and the inner self. June-born souls embody this quest. Their minds are alive with questions, their hearts drawn to novelty and variety. They are the seekers, constantly reinventing themselves, chasing new ideas and possibilities. But as Jung would caution, without grounding, this endless motion can lead to fragmentation. The task for June individuals is not to stop exploring, but to learn how to choose, to focus on the paths that resonate with their deeper purpose. When they align their curiosity with intention, they become not wanderers, but wise navigators of both the world and the soul. July marks the heart of summer, a time of warmth, depth, and emotional fullness. Those born in this month often carry the archetype of the nurturer, embodying the essence of what Carl Jung described as the feeling type. Individuals who process life through the lens of connection, compassion, and emotional resonance. Their presence brings comfort. Their intuition, though quiet, is profound. Jung believed that the feeling type often serves as the emotional anchor for others, silently holding space in times of chaos. July-born souls instinctively offer love, but their greatest challenge lies in remembering that love must also include the self. They may become overly identified with the needs of others, losing sight of their own inner world. Life calls them to balance care with boundaries, to recognize that self-protection is not selfish, but sacred. When they learn to honor their needs, their nurturing becomes even more powerful and enduring. August arrives with intensity, the sun at its peak, life in full bloom. Those born in this month often shine just as brightly. Carl Jung believed that certain individuals embody the heroic archetype, those whose presence commands attention, whose path is to lead, inspire, and elevate others. August-born souls carry this magnetic energy. They walk into a room and change its atmosphere, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment with their inner fire. Their confidence is natural, their vision bold. But as Jung often warned, every archetype casts a shadow. For August souls, that shadow is the need for approval. The danger lies in defining their worth through applause. Their true journey is inward, to discover that their light does not depend on how others see them, but how authentically they live. When they root their power in self-knowledge rather than recognition, they become not just leaders, but luminous guides. To be born in September is to arrive during a time of refinement, when nature begins to organize, harvest, and prepare. Carl Jung spoke often of the thinking type, those who seek order, clarity, and understanding. September-born individuals carry this archetypal energy. They are natural analysts, guided by a quiet desire to perfect, to improve, and to bring harmony through structure. Their attention to detail is unmatched, their standards high, not out of pride, but out of purpose. They see what others miss, but Jung would remind us that the pursuit of perfection can become a prison if not tempered with compassion. September souls often battle inner criticism, holding themselves to impossible ideals. Their lesson is to accept the beauty of imperfection, to honor process over outcome. When they soften judgment and embrace progress, they transform into architects of wisdom, grounded, thoughtful, and capable of building lasting, meaningful lives. October ushers in equilibrium, the balance between light and dark, day and night. It's no surprise that those born in this month often carry a deep yearning for harmony, justice, and emotional peace. Carl Jung believed that the psyche longs for balance, a reconciliation of opposites that leads us toward wholeness. October-born individuals often embody this psychological task. They are diplomats at heart, guided by empathy and fairness, gifted with the ability to see all sides of a situation. Their archetype is the mediator, someone who brings people together, who senses when something is off, even if unspoken. Yet this very gift can become a burden. Jung would warn that excessive indecision, the fear of making the wrong choice, may paralyze the spirit. Life invites October souls to trust their inner voice, to act not from perfection, but from inner alignment. In doing so, they find not just balance, but peace. Those born in November seem to carry a quiet intensity, a deep, magnetic presence that hints at secrets not yet spoken. Carl Jung was fascinated by the unconscious, by the idea that beneath every action and thought lies a deeper force shaping us. November-born individuals often live close to that depth. They are introspective, emotionally complex, and drawn to life's hidden layers. Their archetype is that of the seeker, the one who must descend into the dark to retrieve the light. These individuals are often misunderstood, not because they hide, but because they feel more than they reveal. Jung taught that true transformation comes from embracing the shadow, facing what we fear within ourselves. For November souls, the path to growth lies in allowing others to witness their truth. Vulnerability, not secrecy, becomes their greatest strength. When they open up, they awaken the same depth in those around them. December arrives with a sense of conclusion and celebration, yet it also points to something larger, something beyond the immediate. Those born in this month often carry the archetype of the philosopher or the visionary. Carl Jung wrote that human beings are driven not only by instinct, but by a spiritual urge, a longing for meaning. December-born souls are guided by this inner compass. They are expansive thinkers, naturally inclined to seek truth, purpose, and a broader view of life. Their optimism is not naive. It is rooted in their ability to see possibilities even in the darkest moments. But Jung would caution against overextension, the tendency to give so much to others that one forgets to tend to the self. The lesson for December is balance, knowing when to share their light and when to return inward to rekindle it. When they find this rhythm, they become true beacons of hope and wisdom. Carl Jung believed that the path to wholeness begins with self-awareness, not through external achievement, but by understanding the symbolic language of our lives. Your birth month is one such symbol. It holds a mirror to your soul, revealing not only your strengths, but also the hidden patterns shaping your journey. Each month carries its own rhythm, its own challenge, its own gift.